So you got a job at the old postal service, eh? The old post office. Down at the post. Down at the post. At the little post. God damn, is this too bright? Is it too bright? Felt like it was too bright. I'm a little special in the brain. Okay, let's try this again. Hello, America. So, you've just gotten a job being a rural, hate that word, carrier, associate, or assistant. Is it associate or assistant? I don't know, but either way, this video is going to help you in case you're using a minivan to deliver the mail, to set up your minivan. No one's gonna help you. Okay? Like, this is what happened with me. They sent us to training. Okay? Training. For me, like, it was an hour drive to the place, which was just a big post office. With, extra stuff. Obviously, they have rooms where they train people. Which is bullshit. Because they didn't fucking train me. I trained me. And you will train yourself. Because if your post office is anything like mine was, then none of your coworkers are gonna help you because they don't have time to help you. It is 100% sink or swim. And I've watched a lot of people sink. My ass jumped off the boat. I feel like that sounded way cooler in my head before I said it. There's not one person that works at each post office that helps people figure out their vehicle setup or keeps notes, like route notes. They need a person like that. Just, crazy idea. So for 3 days, you gotta drive an hour away to sit in a room and talk with this person. And she really didn't train us at all. She didn't talk to us about how to set up our vehicles. Because, spoiler alert, you gotta use your own fucking car. And the Postal Service doesn't, not hire you if you don't have the right kind of vehicle starting out. Let me explain. There was this lady that got hired with us while I was there as a sub, like me. And she was driving a fucking truck, like a pickup truck. Which is okay, but hers apparently had a big fucking console over here, so she couldn't do that. She was just driving like normal, and she'd get out and walk the fucking mail around and put it in the box. For every single box. And why that is important is that each route at that post office has an average of 600 addresses. So she never got done with the route, obviously. But anyways, I digress. They send you to training. And it's stupid. It is stupid. Because they don't fucking train you. Damn it. Training is supposed to fucking train you. You know what they do? They have a few empty cases, Let's make these 3 cases in this room that don't do anything except for, practice tacoing the magazines in there or setting them up. Oh no, now I'm a fucking master. I'm the postmaster now. Cause now I've practiced tacoing the fucking sandwiches. the sandwiches. Taco not the sandwiches. May you taco not any sandwiches, but only magazines. I have derailed this thing yet again. You learn about tacoing and whatever. The flats at the case, which is important. It's important to get good at that, but there's so much more that goes into it. So much more. At least 2 of the days of your training are in this little room. And she talks about dangerous stuff. You know, like, it's like an oral lesson. They don't fucking work with you to make it work with your car, but they expect you to fucking figure it out, like, immediately. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to saw that console in half with a jigsaw, buddy, and you know, I'll just lift it up out of there. No, motherfucker, give me a fucking car. Give me a vehicle. Shit, like, why is it even a problem? So the 3rd day, we met at this different place. Again, an hour away from me. And all we did on this day was drive one of the LOVs around in a circle, basically, under a bridge, under some overpasses. And we practiced parking and blah 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 in a LOV. Oh, those are called long life vehicles, by the way. Those are the, you know, the actual vehicles that city carriers get. But yeah, and again, that doesn't help us. It's just a waste of time. I mean, we saw a dude pissing on the fucking fence, just right on the street, dick out and everything. Didn't care. That was more of a fucking learning experience than what they provided. I'm gonna leave affiliate links for a couple items that I talk about, so you can buy the exact thing that I'm saying you need. And then I can get a smidgen of that. Just a wee little smidgen. Can I have the wee little crumbs? Just let me have the wee little crumbs, Governor. Please. I'm very poor. I need your wee little crumbs. Crumblies off your beard, master. Crumblies off your hairy belly. Will you let me have those? I'm just a wee little slave. A wee little white, hippie looking slave. Okay, let's get back on track here. So, just to give you some context here about what you're about to see. I used an action camera, not a GoPro, but a DJI Osmo Action, which I think is probably better than a GoPro. Get over it. So yeah, and I used the chest harness. So it's from the chest POV. POV. Oh, I sure do like some POV. Blimey. So anyway, so I filmed this thing as I was setting it up, but the audio sucked on it really bad and kind of lost the audio, so I had to basically just dub over it, watching it back over, doing a voiceover, which was actually pretty fun. It's pretty fun. So that will explain why some of it seems a little crazy and why I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what I'm doing doesn't match what I'm saying sometimes. And so that's why. But you'll get it. Alright, this is way more help than anyone at the Postal Service is going to give you. So the first thing I do is, like, I have a cart that I'm pushing out there, and it's all the mail and some of the packages. So it's like all the letters and all the magazines and the box holders and the small packages and some of the smallish packages, which I'll talk about in the video. And so I wheel all that out on the cart, and then I open my trunk and I open the front driver's side door. I just raised my armrest up. That's all I did. Look at that. Fancy. Sometimes it gets stuck and it won't close. This is my board, made from an old entertainment center. It was the big door. There were two big doors. So just to show you a more up close look at this thing. I know it's different foam, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But this board it looks really thin, but it's really sturdy. It's lasted over 5 years. So I had the old door just laying around, took all the hardware off of it, cut it up with a skill saw, and see there's a piece missing right there. It's kind of wobbly. That's what the rubber bands are helping. But I sanded it down real good. And yeah, so this is a foam twin-sized mattress topper. About $10 from Walmart. I replaced the dingy yellow one there at the end before I quit because my back was really starting to hurt. I just staple it down with a staple gun, and that's it. So once I put the board down, usually I don't have to mess with this pillow right here, but the rubber band that I usually keep over it to keep it in place had broken. So yeah, and these red rubber bands, they're pretty tough. I put them over the letters, as you'll see later on in this video. So I will keep this pillow right here in place pretty much at all times to protect me from the lip of this seat right here. This part, it hurts a lot, so the pillow helps with that. Yank on it. Yeah, pull that little bad boy out right there. What I'm doing here is pulling this one outward, the buckle, and I'm pulling this buckle back so I can actually buckle it and shut it up. Now push it all in place. Smack it. You really need to buckle it first before you do this, and that's a piece of wood. It's plywood. And now I'll show you the innards of my backrest. So you've got the big firm pillow. Hold on. Okay, the big firm pillow. And that is the same memory foam that I had on the board. And that's a Phillips head screw that I screwed in there. I don't really remember why. Was using the staple gun, and maybe I was just wanting it to be a little more secure. I don't know. But the staple gun worked on the rest of it. Anyways, so that helped your back a lot. And this is just plywood. I think it was already the right size. Maybe I cut it up to random pillowcase that I had laying around. Schlop. And I don't remember if I had to saw that or not. Give it a good slapping. Watch the dust fly. And this is where I shoot my ass and I fought. I fought dozens of times. Sometimes you got to clap. Sometimes you've got to slap. And here's my flat DPS combo buckets. And I'll tell you about that in a little while. Yeah, here's where I remember the motherfucking seatbelt. I have one of those seatbelt reminders that dings constantly. Because who needs a seatbelt when you're sitting on a board using your left foot for the pedals with limited viewability out of your van because of all the damn packages? I mean, you got your strobe light right here that you had to pay for yourself. Isn't that safe enough? Come on. And here we are at my van. I mean, no shit. Okay, so I got 4 of these long trays. That's what the letters come in every morning. Walk it on over. I use these trays to help hold the mail that I'm working on. Because you gotta organize it somehow. And that pillow being there helps sandwich it up against the dashboard. That's where I put the outgoing mail tray. It's a small tray. And here I'm peeking in my own van like I don't know what's in there. Slow it. Close it. Man, I'm dumb. Walk back around to get the buckets to show you what I do with the buckets. Here's my tool chest. Former mail van. Ruined now by the job. Thanks, Postal Service. Now there's a chore. A vehicular chore. Drop my damn buckets. That's your fault too. Alright, so this is what I put the small packages in. And I'll usually have at least 2. The most I've ever had in one day is 6. Pretty sure. Usually it's 2 to 4. And so I'll stack them like that on top of each other. The top one is the first quarter of the route. Second one, second quarter. My finger points. Here I go. I'm walking back around to show you something. Forgot what I was doing. What am I doing here? Oh yeah. Whenever there's rubber bands, that's where I keep all the markers and stuff. See? Hand, points, rubber bands, old markers. When the first bucket is depleted, I put all the stuff that's in that seat, even rubber bands and straps, put them in there. Then I lift the second bucket up and into the first bucket. So it all compresses into each other. And by the way, I came up with this on my own. No one taught me this. Everyone does it their own way. And so I'll keep bucket 3 through whatever back there, stacked up chronologically. My finger points again. Now I walk back around to show you something. There's a bucket right there. This is what it looks like when I pull the buckets up. Derp. Now I fiddle with the buckets for no reason at all. Just to waste time, I guess. Who knows? My finger points again. Ah, yes, I'm walking back around here to talk to you about these other packages that are sometimes also small enough to fit in the box, which is the whole point of putting the small packages in the buckets. And sometimes they're not small enough, but I'll put them there anyways because they take up too much space in my buckets, or like maybe they'll have a dog. Maybe I'm not sure if they'll have a dog. You know, it's just a place for small packages that I can reach back and grab. And also, it's for packages that need a signature. You can just grab it and honk, and someone will come out there and come sign it, hopefully. So right here, I just want to talk about what I put in this tray thing right here. That's the flats bucket over there. And I put the first tray of letters that go with the first part of the route in that tray that I just poked. And then I'll sandwich this flats tray, or bucket rather, in between the two trays. This part right here goes in between the two trays and it stays put. You don't want mail flopping all over the place. Now this, I take chunks of the GPS and put in there as I'm working on that tray, and that floats around as needed while I'm working, because it rests on top of my knee and you need to move your leg around while you work. Make circles with your finger. Let's close her up. Real quick here, I just wanted to show what I did for a short time in my old van before I made a board and figured all that out. This is ridiculous, guys. And it's a terrible idea. So don't ever try it. I actually bought a boating seat from Walmart. Bought this thing, and see, this has a little tray like that. This is a Kia Sedona. You got your cup holder. There's a little lever you pull up, and then it goes down. So the boating seat could like rest on that, and I always kept this like that up under it, just to keep it out of the way. And honestly, I don't know how I even got this to stay in place, because this is ridiculous. Maybe I just smushed that buckle down or something. I don't know. But like underneath it, I had a jack stand. I would put a jack stand like right there, and then I'd raise the little thing up just for it to be more, you know, so it wouldn't sink down like that. So it would be more level, which is, again, ridiculous. And to add more to the ridiculousness of it, I would take one of these. I would hook it like back around here, and I would stretch it all the way back. Actually, it would be like that. Do that, and I would stretch it all the way back to these anchors around the third row back there. And I would do that on both sides, that side and this side, to 2 anchors. And you want to talk about back pain? Shit. Because see, with this, I'm sitting way over here in the actual middle. And so you're having to reach out really, really far to the boxes every time. Not just sometimes. See, with the board, I'm sitting more like in here, so it's an easier reach. So yeah, that's what I used to do, and it hurt really fucking bad. Walk back around, show you kind of what it looks like when I climb in this death trap. you can't tell from this chest point of view, but my eyes are absolutely level with the rearview mirror, so I'm constantly having to duck my head around, and it hurts my neck. And I wear a knee pad too, because it presses up against that thing all day. Ain't trying to ruin my knee. Sometimes I'll straighten it out like that, but then that wobbles around depending on the weight of the letters. That's a zip tie. And make sure you have extra zip ties up there in your tray or in your dashboard. And this tub, I set them up like that, and then I burn a hole into the small one with a soldering iron. Right there, you can see a tiny hole. And I don't know what made that bigger hole, because it's been like 5 years. So these are those dimensions of the flats bucket. That's 16.5 inches length, 13 inches width, and 6 5/8 height. And I don't remember what size this thing is. But you can figure it out. My finger points. That's my tray. And I'll show that in a different video. That's where I keep forms and pens and just whatever outgoing letters that have money with it. My dog spray that leaks everywhere. And for example, leaks on my contact solution bottle. Isn't that ironic? Thanks, Postal Service. Thanks for the pepper spray in my eyes when I'm trying to make them moist. Damn. Now I gotta wash that off before I do anything else. Ugh. Glad I can't really smell farts now that well anymore. Thanks, COVID. For real though. This is what it looks like with mail in it. So you've got your tray of DPS, your current trays you'll put up here in that one tray. And you see how it sits down in there in between. Keeps this bad boy in place. And so as you're working, you'll be taking mail from here, putting it in here, flipping through it, whatever. So there's all your flats over there, your bundles of flats. That's where I keep the current ones. There's that tray of outgoing mail that I was talking about. Got all the stuff set up here. Okay, so this is how I keep my bundles of flats. Wow, can't even think of the word flats. This is what this job does to me. So you may be wondering, what exactly is a flat? And what all goes into the flat bundles? Well, there's magazines, newspapers, as you can see. That red thing on top is a package marker that lets you know that there's a package that you gotta get out for. And if you have packages that are flat and squishy, you can case those with the flats too. And letters, loose letters, they go in there. Basically, everything besides the long trays of pre-sorted letters go in your flats, your flat bundles. Big envelopes, stamp envelopes from when people order stamps or pay for postage for something. They'll use a little stamp envelope and it's orange. Sometimes there's a lot of really awkward things that you have to try to fit into that flatness, and it's super aggravating. So there's all those. Then I keep those packages smallish. The smallish packages right there. Don't look at the addresses. I don't want to get in trouble. So then there's trays of DPS down there. Oh, maybe I can show you how I number them. So you've got your 2, 3, 3. I keep them like that so I can just kind of push it back with my hand and look at the current number. So I'll bring that all the way up to there when I need to. Down here, if I have room, I'll put other little packages. You know, just, there's no real specific thing that I put down here. Sometimes I put more bundles. I have way more bundles of flats that I'll put down there. I'll go from 2 to 6 in this seat. Because if I go any higher, they're gonna fall off. And they're gonna go over there in the corner. And that's just no fun. So see, I got another thing. There's my number 3 bucket of small packages. And then all my packages are stacked up in there. And they all stack up randomly every day. There's no perfect way that they all go in every single day because every day is different. Some days you have more. See, today I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 little 1-foot trays of letters. Some days I have 11. 11 feet of letters, and they stack up like all the way to here. It's bonkers. And then I'll have, on days like that, the chances are good that I'll have way more of these packages, and they're stacked up to the headrest right there. This is it's a pretty good day, pretty light day. And on some days, it looks like this. Fucking full of everything. And it's 1 o'clock. Fuck me. So that's my method. My method of madness. Oh yeah. Just want to show all this stuff. My dog spray, forms, all that stuff's ready to go. And that is Velcro, baby. Industrial strength Velcro. So I've got this little tray that I actually took out of it's like a socks and underwear assortment. Kind of thing. I just sacrificed a tray out of it. And I've got the other Velcro long ways that way. Or horizontally, I guess you could say. And so it all sticks together, and whenever I have box holders, I just put them up here. That way I can reach up here and grab them, and I'm not having to like put them in my lap or some other weird place. And if I have Mailworks, where is my little knife thing? I've got this little knife for Mailworks that I keep. I'll keep it like right in here. It's like a little hook knife. I don't know where it is right now. But anyways.
Oh, there it is. Hiding away. Good old duckbill knife. Kinda looks like a duckbill bird. You just hook the straps, and you cut it. It's a lot faster than scissors or an actual knife, given that that blade in there is sharp enough. A lot of times I'd be sawing on it. Derp.
So I'll reach up there and cut the little straps, the plastic straps. And, yeah.
Something you might also want to consider looking into is getting a little container like this. and I got this one from Hobby Lobby. It keeps all my stuff, including package markers, which is what I was just talking about. And I'll show you what those are. First of all, gum makes you popular. You're going to want to keep your own scissors, because not every regular carrier that you sub for is going to have scissors at their case. And sometimes they do, but you can't find it. And sometimes clerks will snatch them up and use them. So these sticky notes, I use them mainly for like leaving notes on mail that I bring back or packages that I have questions about. Big Sharpies, pins. I like the big Sharpies for labeling bundles. Okay, so now to the package markers. This stack right here are for big packages that I know won't fit in the box. And so this is how I mark them up. I write the address down, and I'll write a slash and a little 1, which means one package or one bundle of packages. And you see, sometimes I'll put a comma if there's another package with it that won't bundle together with the other ones. And the SM stands for small, which just means like it goes in that back seat where I talk about putting smallish packages. And sometimes they'll have a smallish package. Sometimes they'll have, more than one. So you just figure it out. So after the reds come the oranges, because it's close to red, and then purple, because purple is the color of royalty. And if I have that many packages, I'm royally stressed the fuck out. And so the green ones are for the bucket packages that I know will fit in the mailboxes. Or at least I'm pretty sure they will. And sometimes I'll change my mind. See there where it says small? Sometimes I'll be putting the bucket packages together, and I have one that's just too big. And so I'll change my mind, and I'll take it out, and I'll mark it as small and put it in the back seat. Blue doesn't really mean anything. It's just the other color they got. And so you're going to want to get the thickest construction paper you can for these things and cut them at like 2 3/4 inches so you can get the most out of it. And that's route notes you can also leave in your little container. Just do whatever you got to do to stay organized. Basically, a package marker is just a note that you're leaving yourself to tell you that you have X amount of packages at the address that you're currently at. And, I didn't always used to mark them up like this. I didn't always do the little /1 whatever. I used to go into more detail with it. In fact, when I first began, I would mark up all the smalls too, with like little descriptions, and it took me forever to get done. Like, I don't know how I even got done back then. And then I ordered these. Of course, you got to pay for them yourself. These are actually plastic, which, they're going to last. However, normal pens don't mark on these things, so you've got to use Sharpies. And see, look, B for box, AP for Amazon Prime, bundle for bundles, white paper box, priority mail, extra large, small white box, white paper, long pink box, envelope, smalls, flat. I mean, it's just a little excessive. And once you've taken up all the space on these package markers, you've got to like wipe them down with rubbing alcohol just to get the Sharpie off of it. And think about doing that to all of these package markers. It's another ridiculous thing. But I mean, if this is how you want to do it, it comes in these colors. So you've got your red for stop and green for go. I don't like it. And some people don't even write numbers on these things. They'll just throw a green one in there, or throw a pink one, or a red one, or whatever. Like, all the people that I worked with, they all did it in a different way. Some of them did it in the same way, but as far as I know, I'm the only one who did it in this particular way. So, if this helps you, good. Because this is a case. See all those addresses and slots? There's hundreds of them. And if you're not organized and you don't have a method, you're not going to be able to do this. So, just for example, say you have packages for both of these addresses, and both of these have magazines and letters in them already. Do you want some floppy little piece of paper to try to cram in there for a package marker? Or do you want something with a little more stiffness that you can, just slide right in there? So that's why I go for the thick construction paper. Which, if the plastic ones, if I didn't have to use rubbing alcohol to get that shit off, I would choose those. If I could just easily wipe them off, those would probably be better, and you could just reuse them for your entire career. But that's not the case, so I use the stiff construction paper. And it's not an unlikely scenario to have lots of mail crammed in to the slot like that, and to have multiple packages for both, and to have like a red marker for one and a green marker for another one, or for both. I mean, so it's bad enough when you already know the route and you know that you've got a lot of mail and packages to deal with, but as a sub, you're thrown on these routes blind, as they say, as in you don't know the route, you don't know the case, you're just searching for these addresses in the case. And so you want it to go as quickly as you possibly can. So I advise not to use some floppy little piece of paper as a package marker. Use something that has some rigidity to it. Something that can be easily written on with a pen, with some color coding, because that's going to take a little bit of mental stress off of you, believe it or not. So that's my little 2 cents about package markers.
I hope this helps you. If not, subscribe to me. Anyways, please just hit the subscribe button, like, for real.